here's the thing, I always wanted to be a pilot. I joined the flight school in March 2016, I got a book, and on April's Fool, I was pretty much ready to go. At the flying school, I could choose between an 83 or a PA-28. I went with the 83 because it was the cheapest option, and also because converting to a PA-28, it wasn't going to take me more than a couple of hours. One of the differences between the 83 and the PA-28 is that the 83 has differential braking, which means that the rudder pedals don't have any effect while you're on the ground unless you have enough speed. So usually if you're going to turn to the right or to the left, you have to use the brakes and not the rudder pedals. That could be a bit tricky during the takeoff because you're going to tend to use the right brake to keep the plane in the center line. But if you don't release the brake soon enough and go to the rudder, what's going to happen is that you're going to be braking, which means that your takeoff run is going to be a bit longer.
So you got control. So we normally keep a hand on the stick, so keep us on the centre line. Okay, I'm helping you.
And we were finally ready for our first takeoff.
So the actual runway starts way back here, so one of the things which is most useless to a pilot is runway behind them. So now, we know that the runway is slightly wet, so where should we be getting airborne by? Well, we should be getting airborne by about halfway down the runway, and if we're not, we'll abandon the takeoff.
Okay.
So as we're coming to this side of the hangar, we ought to be getting airborne.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. So, happy to go then?
Yes.
So what I'm doing here then, final look at everything, that's good. So quickly up on the power, so I get rudder control. I do have full rudder control.
Yeah.
And we're onto the grass. I'm getting the feel of the aircraft. God. And it's almost ready to fly. There's the hangar passing.
Yeah.
We've got flying speed, and away we go.
The whole lesson was going really well, and then this happened.
That's pitching.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Well, you don't really need me to demonstrate. I'll keep the wings nose level. Now you have a go at rolling the aircraft.
Okay. So yeah.
Okay, don't be afraid of it.
Okay.
Yeah. I won't let us get on news at 10.
I don't know how much is too much.
Well, there's never too much, it's alright.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you've seen the authority of the control just doing that. Well, why not now? Let's see what full authority is.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to roll as gently to the left, and then I'm going to put full stick into the right. So it does move.
It might not look like a lot on the video, but to me that was way too much. I wasn't expecting that to happen at all, and I felt really sick. After a few minutes though, my instructor asked me how I was feeling, and I was feeling alright, so I decided that it was going to be good to just keep going with the lesson.
Now let's see if we can see the secondary effect of rolling, which we said was yawing.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Just so you look a bit pale, that's all.
No,
You're
fine.
okay, are you? Yeah, that's good.
For me, the main issue was that I didn't know if I was going to be able to actually be a pilot after that. I thought, if I'm getting sick on my first lesson, what's going to happen in the next 10 lessons or so? I'm actually going to be able to finish this, or I'm just going to feel so sick that I'm not going to finish it. The lesson that I learned, if you're ever taking any passengers, just ask them how they feel, because they might be feeling really ill, and they won't tell you because they don't really want to ruin the flight. Back to the flying lesson, I learned what a Frida check is, and we did my first overhead jump.
Frida, we call it the Frida check. So F stands for fuel.
Okay.
So, have we got fuel pressure? Yep. Have we got plenty in the tank? Yes. Have we got the fuel pump where we want it? Well, at this stage of the flight, we don't need it on.
Okay.
So it's off. R is for radio. Well, we're squawking 7,000 and we're listening out on 122.6.
Okay.
E is for engines. So temperatures, pressures. Temperature's good, oil pressure's good. Oil temperature's cool, even though we've got the the oil cooler off. That's again cool. That's okay. Fuel pressure, yeah. So T's and temperatures and pressures, T's and P's for short, are all good. DI, well, we're in nice still air. Let's check our compass. So it's almost on 210. So it's near enough. Yeah, we'll reset it before we land. And then finally, A for altimeter. Have we got what we want on there? We've got the QNH on, which I'm not sure whether I said it before. I zeroed it, but we'll check it again.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know? Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fly you an overhead join and talk us through it as we do it, because that is the normal way we come back into the circuit. So we fit in with other traffic.
Okay.
So the circuit is, or the runway is 19 that way. So we're approaching it at right angles at 2,000 feet.
Yeah.
So what we do is we're going to come overhead the airfield at 2,000 feet into what's called the dead side. We're then going to descend, do a turn back into the live side at 1,000 feet, and then join circuit. Okay. Anyway, we've come into the dead side now while we've been chatting. So I'm going to start descending. When we descend, we put carb heat on.
Okay.
And then we'll do a descending turn. Gives us a chance to look at the airfield. And we're going to recross the runway. So when I level off, I'm positively leveling off, not half leveling off. And I'm coming now to what's called downwind. So I'm keeping a good lookout. I'm listening out for other traffic, and I'm looking out for other traffic. When I think I've gone sufficiently far, I can't see yet. I'm going to turn downwind now. Stop Charlie Yankees, downwind, runway 19 to land. And then I want to do some landing checks. So we put the carb heat on, and we use the generic bump. So its brakes are off, undercarriage is down and fixed.
Yeah.
Mixture's fully rich, can't do anything about it on this one. Propeller's fully fine. Fuel and flaps, so we've got the boost pump on, flap will come shortly. Hatches and harness, so still strapped in.
Yeah.
And then carburetor heat goes away. There we go. So I'm watching the runway at all times at the moment. And because I've got a strong wind, I don't want to go out any further than this. Otherwise it take forever to come in. So I'm now on what's called the base leg. So I'm starting to descend. So I'm taking the power off. And this is where we're going to start using our flap.
Okay.
So one stage of flap. And again, always trim. You see at the moment it's out of trim.
Yes.
So trim, trim, trim.
Okay.
So that we can just sit here and enjoy the view. Go and get a cup of coffee in the back. So I'll take the power right off. We're on the carb heat on at this stage. Final look out on the brakes to make sure nobody's sneaking in. So I'm going to take a bit more drag now. Right, there we go. Now, once we're down, we will bounce all over the place. It's not me, honestly, it's the ground. So we're on the landing light on there. So I'm shooting now for about 65 knots. And that's what it should look like, okay?
Okay.
You can see where the start of the runway is on the 19, so I'm aiming for those numbers. Finals to land, Charlie Yankee. So it's down to me to make sure that there's nobody on the runway. The other AT3's landed and cleared, so that's alright. There's a bit of sink. You see how this aircraft suddenly dropped a bit there?
Yeah.
Now it's dropping even more. So I'm using my rudder, stick, absolutely everything to keep it going where I want it. Final check on the speed, into the flare, keep it flying as long as I can. And there we go. And then this is where it hops and skips about. Nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to try and stop it doing that. Just let it bounce about, keeping that stick well back. And now I've lifted my feet onto the brakes and I'm now going to exit the runway. And what you mustn't do when it does skip about like that is try and catch it. Just let it skip. Runway vacated, Golf Charlie Yankee.
Thanks for watching the video. I got my lessons back in July 2017, so I still have a lot of videos to upload. If you like the video, please hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, I would love that. And just leave any feedback, any comments in the comment section so I can see what you think about this and make any improvements. Thanks for watching and I'll see you on the next video.